Welcome to the Golden Feather. Grab a pint, a plate, and pick your seats. Your hosts, Vertek and Chibibri, are back from their last adventures.
Hello, everybody. Back to another episode of Feather. Today is, it's today? 30th of December. Have with
I'm doing good. How are you guys?
Pretty good. It's been a year.
It's been a year.
been a day. It's been a lot of things.
Indeed. By the way, if I look angry, it's probably because I'm smiling like this.
Yeah. We just got to revamp on these glorious model.
Yeah.
They do more stuff. It looks
yeah, just a little bit. Also, Mazera from the future, welcome to December 31st, almost January 1st. You'll have to tell us how the new year starts pretty well, hopefully.
Ew.
Is it the 31st for you guys? It's still the 30th for me.
It's the 30th for us too, yeah, but Mazera said they're on the 31st already.
Okay.
Yeah, we got people from all over the world.
Hey there, by the way, Turgo.
Hello.
Yeah. So yeah, for those who do not, peace.
I'm Yokai Theater. Hi. I guess most people would probably know me as the one of the officers of Envious. We're one of the larger guilds for Ashes Creation. I also host the Ashes Creation discussion round since BCG passed it on to me. I keep that going. I do some other Ashes Creation related content. I'm a wannabe Ashes Creation content creator. I do the Ashes Creation Jeopardy, AOC Jeopardy. I do a couple other do videos here and there. But mainly it's just Ash. I've been a member of the community since the very start, since late 2016, early 2017. I've been there in the trenches with everybody. You probably recognize me if you've been someone that's inside the voice chats. I'm generally there talking to people. We as a community, Envious, stop by there every event they have, whether it be the office hour, office hours, the community watch parties, whatever have you. And I'm one of the more vocal ones. Generally the first to raise my hand when it comes to the office hours. You can find me on YouTube and Twitch and stuff like that.
Nice.
Yeah,
we try to join in on the office hours ourselves, but they tend to have it during our own office hours because they're PST, we're EST. So
not everyone can make it all the time. They do to kind of. I think they're talking about switching it up to be more EU friendly or like earlier time frame friendly, but as of lately they have been kind of
sporadic to let more people get in. Yeah, I noticed that with the holiday office hours they held, which we actually got to pop in for that for once, even though I was technically working. I was allowed off a little early that day, so
yeah. You know what, that took me a minute too, Mazera. And please let me know if my mic is doing any more cutting off. I think it just did.
We're not hearing it on Zoom side, just so you know. But yeah, I'm sorry. I'm grabbing your socials real quick. Sounds good now. That's what.
Okay, either maybe it'll stay steady right now. I refresh on some. it chopping out at all now? I keep talking.
Not that I hear. Nope, not that I hear.
Okay, take a look then.
Chopped off a little there, yeah. Okay, well, I think I may have missed it. Thank you. Our avatar profiles.
Yeah, if you could go ahead and just keep chatting for a minute, I'm gonna see if I can invest.
Sure, yeah. So I actually haven't asked you why are you starting to do VTuber stuff? You okay?
I've actually wanted to, so like I've tried to do the content creator thing since I think like 2016, 2015, 2016, maybe a little bit earlier than that too. Ever since I started doing it, I was always I wanted to make yokai theater, like Jay Oni of the yokai theater, a character, and write like a little story behind, like do like a webcomic series about that. I had characters, I had plans for all that stuff. And then like I'd always seen like there's this one animator on Twitch that he was just doing a stick figure. It was before VTubing really became a thing, and he had a stick figure character that was, and he would like do animation stuff. I don't know if you've seen Has Been Hotel or Hell of a Boss. I don't know if you've seen those. You've seen those, but like he's one of the animators that does that, and I just watched his streams and saw him do that, and I was like, that's what I want to do, and.
That's awesome.
I just really wanted to do. I've been ever since I even like blew up in like the 2020 during the COVID stuff, and when it started actually blowing up, I was like, I really want to do that. And so that's kind of like the history of why I was doing VTubing.
That's awesome, actually. I got into VTubing. Actually, it's funny. I stumbled across a VTuber myself. They said that they're drawing tavern things, and I obviously, as a person running a tavern, was like, "Ooh, what tavern things are we drawing?" And then I realized that they were calling their little stream community the Tavern.
Was she a little goblin girl?
Yep, I think you know who I'm talking about. Honey.
Yeah, I love Honey.
Mm-hmm. And she is actually the reason why I wanted to try becoming a VTuber. And this VTuber, actually my VTuber and my Ash is a creation character is based off of my D&D character, which is a druid. And as soon as I saw Pyre, I was like, yep, that's the race I'm playing.
I love Pyre. I love the look. I don't know if I've talked to you guys about this. I love the look of Pyre. I don't know if you guys have seen the Netflix series Dragon Prince.
I don't think I've actually watched that, but I have seen it come across my feed once or twice.
It's like, so they're my favorite iteration of elves. Like they're more on the unique side, and I love that they like the Pyre kind of like look like them. I do have, I want to go like a little bit like a lore horror kind of thing.
That's fine.
I do have some gripes. I do have some gripes about the Pyre, but that can be a topic. I don't know. I know you guys have your. I know we have topics that we're gonna go through today. So I don't know if you want to hear me be a lore whore.
Be down for it in a moment. Now let me see. I think I've made some adjustments here. I might need to make one more. That should get me up to about where I need to be. I think I had a noise gate that was chopping me off. Have I sounded like I cut off at all in the past few moments? And I'll leave that to chat to say anything. It doesn't look like it's cutting off on my audio levels now. It was earlier, but now I think I've got it.
Yeah, it sounds good to me too.
Awesome. Thank you for letting me know that. Some people let us go with some audio issues for an entire episode, and we figure out at the very end that there was something wrong. So
it makes for interesting post-editing.
It's not an Ash is a Creation live stream. It's not an Ash is a Creation podcast without audio issues. I can't go through an episode of the discussion round without fucking having audio issues. I curse a lot. I'm going to warn you about that. I catch myself, and I don't want to do it as much. I'm trying to improve on that. I'm fair warning.
Well, we do mark ourselves as mature because we are, well, I mean, for one, we're adults, but for two, we understand that, you know, cursing may happen, especially when you get either super into something or like passionate about a conversation topic, or like if you're just someone like you and VCG who tend to drop cursy words a little bit more often.
I do
all
it
good.
Far too much, and I'm trying to improve on that.
So I want to say welcome in Sweetheart, Frutal, and Mezera. Welcome in. Welcome to the Tavern. I hope you guys enjoy your stay. And Turgo, who we've reconnected with recently, was featured in the recent live stream as one of the people who reacted to some Ashes of Creation stuff. And like Yokai here, who we haven't had a chance to get on our podcast for, I think, since we started, actually. Like it's been a while since we've been able to reconnect with some people, and it's the beginning of next year is going to continue this trend of reconnecting, I guess. Oh,
yeah.
Do you want to do the cheersy thing?
Oh yeah, we should.
Since Nair's cheersing.
Yeah, okay. Cheers.
Cheers.
Should I say cheers?
Yeah.
You can, yes.
Cheers.
Yeah. Oh, we just got an emote added to our people, so now when people throw the cheers thing up, we can actually do a cheers with them.
Yeah, exactly. No, I won't do it every single time, mind you, so if you start spamming it, just getting that ahead of that real quick.
Yeah.
But yeah, so on that note though, recent live stream, what did you think? There was a by the way, for you, Yokai, at the bottom, there's notes that Vertec took really good notes, always meticulous notes, on what people were talking about. So what were your thoughts on the style of this last live stream? Did you like it? Did you not like it?
I think this last live stream was actually fairly good. I know there were some people that in the community that's less. It wasn't a cup of tea, but like overall, I think this one was actually like a really good thing for them to do.
Yeah, I agree.
There's a lot of people in the community that are like, if it's not combat, I really don't care. If it's not like gameplay, I really don't care. But like in terms of, I think it's a good thing that they looked back at what they've accomplished over the year, and also we got to talk with the devs much more and get a little bit more insight in what's going on.
Yeah, I agree.
Someone has a very controversial opinion in chat there. What do you think about this, Yokai? Someone says Z is amazing. I'm not sure how I feel about this, but I'm curious to get your opinion.
Z is amazing. She's fun. She's active. and she's been a long member of the community.
But pizza.
I think she's also of the same opinion of pizza as I am, where she's not a fan of pineapple pizza. She thinks it's an abomination.
Oh, she just hates
doesn't
pizza
like
entirely.
any pizza. All pizza must die.
Yeah.
I can't, as a Ninja Turtles fan and someone that grew up in the 90s, I cannot agree with that.
Okay. So we can agree at least to that point.
For this coming in, I'm not actually angry. Like, I guess it's the way I smile. I don't know. My eyebrows are doing crazy things. Blink twice if you need help. Oh my gosh. But yeah, no, I agree. I've seen a lot of people love-hate this last live stream. Jolon talked about this a lot on Paradox Gaming Network. Thank you again for rating us, and I hope you guys enjoyed your, I'm guessing, pirate stream, because you guys came in talking about trying to steal booty.
Yeah, how's them pirates going?
But I think, like he mentioned, it was a really good thing to do. It's not only is it super chill, it's a great way to end out. Like it's an easy enough live stream to do for them, especially if you consider how busy they are and the fact that there's like not a full month of days for them to work between Thanksgiving and Christmas and then New Year's too. So they had like maybe 10 days of working this last month. So it's I think, hard to plan a proper full live stream like the rest of the months have been with a short time frame like that, and having something like meeting the devs and asking them questions. And honestly, if you were sitting there and listening, they gave a lot of insight too on things. And so that was really neat, just because, like, I don't know, the nitty gritty details person inside of me was like, ooh, info.
You also got to, like, not only are you 100% right that they gave us tons of actual, like, a little bit of info if you were actually listening to them and trying to pay attention to it, but you also got to see how passionate the devs are about the project.
Oh
like,
my
it's
gosh,
like,
yeah.
Like, it's not just like other projects to where, like, you feel like they're like it's they're more in for the money, or you don't really get to connect with the developers as much as you do with Intrepid. And when they do that, you can actually tell, like, they're passionate about the project. They're actual gamers. They know what they're like. They have a history with this.
Yeah, they also seem very passionate about this project, and that's the big thing, because some other developers maybe they kind of get in that, I work at a video game company, it's kind of cool, I love this, what better life could there be, etc. But they're not like these developers. They're kind of nuts about what they're doing specifically for Ashes. Like, we're creating this awesome thing, guys.
And while we weren't live streaming last week, we were hanging out in our guild doing a watch party. And one thing that we kind of noticed was the tons of conversation of other games just fearlessly, which means that it's something they are open to and accepting of in the workforce. And I say that from the perspective of a lot of companies tend to be company versus company, you know, and basically, oh, don't talk about our competition, you know, kind of thing. But instead, they're like trying to call back to things that they liked about other games and maybe see about how to either incorporate it and improve upon it, or maybe draw kind of inspiration from it. And it's really neat to just watch them get excited and talk about it. You can tell, like, on their face that they're into it. Nara says, or me, and I won't showcase it, just put it on my shelves and wall, because you said that they didn't show any of her fan art.
Womp womp.
But yeah,
you have a favorite piece you haven't seen them show off lately, let us know. Maybe we'll pull it up towards the end when we do the fan focus stuff.
Yeah, definitely. Yeah, I think it was also kind of interesting because one thing I pointed out in our chat, and I don't know if you've maybe had people kind of, it's easy to lose sight of the big picture sometimes. And if we remember, back in January is when they were implementing UE5.
Yeah.
And yeah, so go ahead.
One thing I would like them to do is do another video showing the transition to you. I know they've said that, hey, we're doing UE 5.1 now.
Yeah.
I think what you were trying to get at too, before I accidentally cut you off, is that I would like to see another video showing off some of that stuff, and them talking about all the benefits that UE5, like the different kind of what UE 5.1 actually provides.
Yeah, I know it provides the foliage update and things like that, but the other thing I was going to kind of go into is changing over your system like that, especially being in mid-development like they were, can't be easy, but it seemed like they had a team of people that were prepared to help move everything over to UE5, because for other people that are software engineers or work with software that changes a lot, you know that when you use dependencies like something like UE5, where your stuff is dependent on something, when that gets updated, that can either break a lot of stuff or be seamless. And usually you hope that it's seamless, but if it breaks a lot of stuff, you gotta know what to fix and how to fix it quickly. And it seemed like not only were they able to get into UE5 quickly to begin 2022, but everything they did in 2022 was all done in UE5, and I'm imagining at like twice the pace they were able to do it before. And I think they talked a little bit about that in the live stream during the Q&A.
they talked about how I remember them talking about how like. And this was like a topic, like a hot topic when they made that transition of to like when UE5 was being hinted at, and like when it finally did drop, and before like they did like come out and say like, hey, we're like, it was always a topic of, well, why don't they just try? Why don't they upgrade to UE5? And everyone was saying exactly what you were saying just now. It's a lot more work and a lot more dangerous than what people actually like realize.
Yeah.
And but the devs did say like that transition from UE5 to 5.1 is apparently far smoother than
4 to 5.
Yeah.
Yeah. Which is kind of hinting at the fact that it was difficult, and still, even though it was difficult to move over, they still accomplished a lot, in my opinion, in 2022. And I'm sure there's more that they haven't shown us yet. Looking back and seeing like actual like looking back at it, and you could actually see it in the video too, because they did show off some stuff. We like, and I wanted them to do this too. I was like, after the previous live stream, it left a bad taste in people's mouths, and I was like, what they really need right now is to look back and like look at everything they actually accomplished in 2022, because it was a lot, and I don't think people lose sight of that after a bit. Like, it's all just jumbles together because the live stream, like months just fly by. Yeah, exactly.
Yeah, rest well, Z.
Yeah, sleep well, Z. Happy New Year, because we're not gonna have the live stream again until next year.
Yeah.
Bye, Z.
See you next year. Ha ha ha.
I used to make that joke. Hey, I'm not gonna come back until next year, so, and then my teachers would look at me like weird and then realize what I was doing. Imagine if the game stayed on UE4 though, it would already be dated before release of A2 even. Exactly. And I think they, like, not only were the pros for moving over to UE5 far greater than the cons, being that it must have been difficult, but it really sets it up for nice future proofing of the game, at least.
It sets it up for future. Here's the difficulty for that too, and I've gone to college for that's what I went to college for, was game design. I am a game designer. When you switch engines, and this was the big fright for going over to UE5, that's for a lot of that's like starting over from scratch. And so basically, like all the stuff that they'd done up to that point could have potentially like been for nothing. And so like for a lot of projects, the reason they don't upgrade is because they've already have all this time put into like it's a 5 to 6 year, 5, 6, 7 year project, potentially even 8 to 10 for an MMO. And if you're saying, hey, let's move over, like that's a gigantic decision that you have to make as a developer.
Right.
I'm not.
Do you think they made the right call? Because I think they did.
I do think they made the right call. Like you said, it future-proofs it a lot. It's just we have to like put on a scale the pros and cons for your decision.
Yeah.
Yeah. If they had waited, if they had waited, I think it would have eventually been done. They probably would eventually have moved over, but it would have been a much bigger project, because they have all these custom tools already and all these customizations made to the engine that they're working on. So putting it out right now before the rest of the world is built and before they make more tools is probably far easier than if they had waited and did it later after adding a couple more tools and further customizations to what they already have.
Yeah, exactly. I agree with that, because I'm coming from like a web developer's perspective, and what I'm actually working on right now with my job is moving over from something integrated like a CMS to like something like React or whatever. So it's like a lot of work, and we're kind of ramping up to plan for most of next year doing all of that work. So I can only imagine something big like a video game, what that would be like.
Yeah.
Let alone a website.
Right.
So it's just, I guess when you have that perspective, it's a little easier to appreciate it. But when you don't understand or don't realize, like, for example, I had to update Zoom before I live streamed today, and I was like, I click a button and it updates, and then it works just fine. Why can't that be for like game developers, right? And I think people tend to forget that there's people on the back end that's making that seamlessly happen for you.
That's always, I always hate having to update software before I have a stream going on, or I'm trying to do something, because then like I have to like, I always have that fear in my mind. Am I gonna have to redo all the audio? Is it resetting the audio? Am I gonna have to redo the positioning of the cameras?
Yeah.
But yeah, what you said just now is another great point to make it too. Is like, from the perspective of the normal people, like the people that are just following this every month and like haven't followed either haven't followed game development before into like the nitty gritty of it, or aren't a software developer, someone that deals with software, or a game developer. To you, it sounds like super simple, and a lot of things that they like Intrepid showing off sound super simple, but you don't fully. Most people don't fully appreciate it, and so that's why you need devs on there. I would like to see a return to their pre-COVID live stream format,
when they had like Bacon and other people on.
Yeah. We've been waiting for their stream. Margaret keeps like, I'm not gonna throw out Margaret on this one, but like we've been here. They've been saying like, hey, we're getting our streaming set up. We have a streamer room in our new office, and when we get that done, we're gonna switch back to that. We're gonna have a new format going on.
Yeah. And I mean, at least we got to see a sneak peek of what that stream room could possibly look like, and some really nice little sneak peeks of the office, but I know they're not ready. And I feel like Intrepid is like that perfectionist person in your life who just doesn't want to show you anything until it's absolutely perfect.
I feel like Steven is that, like 100%. Like if I know you two are. If you're someone that was there for the early iterations of APOC, a lot of people will say like, hey, let's show off APOC, and then like Steven was like, for one of the iterations, Steven was like, I don't really want to show. I don't know if I can say that one. Can I say that?
Well, he basically made all of this stuff like his baby, right? So he was very hesitant to showing anything until it was ready, and you can kind of see that through him like showing off things like the character creator and stuff like that.
The marshmallow griffin is basically what I'm trying to get at.
Yeah.
Yeah, there was definitely some points where I think maybe being made camera shy by showing off some things and whatnot before they were ready, and some people reacted in a different way. So they want to get things definitely to what they feel is surely ready to be shown, instead of just we think maybe.
Yeah.
Exactly. And I'm 100% for that. I'm more on an Intrepid side when this happens, but like at the same time, like a lot of people that are there for like were there earlier on. It is less of a thing now, but during that transition from like 2019, 2020, and like 2021, there were a lot of people that were like, they promised us transparency, and they felt like we weren't getting that anymore.
Yeah, and I mean that's fair, but also coming from, because I think you've been in it as long as we have, right? So like we've seen Intrepid be transparent and then kind of get burned.
Yeah, 100%. But like some of their devs were getting poached, but like that's why they don't post the new hires on as difficult as they were, because like they're getting poached by other developers.
Yeah. What am I trying to say? Open development.
It's a catch-22.
It's very much a catch-22. It's a double-edged sword. You know, it's awesome. It's really cool to see what they're working on, but it can sometimes hurt. And I think Jalon kind of touched on this too. I'm sorry if I mentioned Jalon a lot. Jalon's like constantly streaming, so when I'm looking for people who are streaming Ashes, it's like Jalon or everybody at once.
Yeah. I think Jalon's pretty much always on. So when you're looking, it's like his symbol and almost nobody else, or it's like you said, there's everybody all online at the one time.
Yeah.
Jalon is probably like one of the better one, because like a lot of people are like he's the only one that streams, right? The other ones, like you hear about people that want to be Ash creation content creators, and they're like, it's just it's too early. There's nothing to really talk about. And I'm like, and then a lot of the content creators that are here, a lot of content creators that are like that are experienced will be like, if you really wanted to be a content creator for this, you'd make content for it.
Yeah,
it doesn't matter.
Do it.
Yeah. And that's what a lot of us that have been doing podcasts, like the Golden Feather, the Ash Creation Discussion Round, the Theory Forge. What was that? Was that the name of their
Theory
podcast?
Forge.
Yeah, Theory Forge. Yeah. Like all those podcasts have been having to make, and all the YouTube content creators for the longest time have been having to make their own content for the longest time. We haven't had like a constant stream of information.
Yeah, that's where I think us being niche, being like community focused, kind of helps us out a little bit. It only helps us out like a lot when there's a lot of community conversations happening, but when there's no community conversations, it's kind of like slim pickings. Like for that year, I think in 2020, I think it was 2020, where they were kind of down after APOC and they were fixing the servers.
Yeah, there was like nothing going on. Like,
that was very slim pickings. Yeah,
early on in the year, we can't even keep content going because nobody's talking in the forums about anything. Nobody's making content. There's no game stuff to talk about.
Yeah.
So we cut it down from like weekly down to, I think we only did 1 or 2 episodes a month.
Yeah, some of them we did only one just because we were like, hey, we're still here, and they did the live stream. So I mean, that wasn't really anything new, but let's talk about it.
As far as like the general impression of this live stream, though, I liked it just because I was fixing my audio earlier, so I didn't get a chance to respond. But a general impression of this live stream, I liked it. I mean, and there's no reservation to that. Like I liked it. It was nice. It was chill. It was talking to the developers. You could literally, especially who was it? Hal?
The slippers.
Oh, his slippers cracked me up. Everybody kept going back to those. But yeah, Hal Anderson, that's who it was. You could see in every fiber of her being that she was excited about what she does.
Yeah. Oh my gosh.
Every fiber of her being was just bursting with energy. Oh my gosh. It was fantastic.
She was so excited just to talk about like tree foliage and gathering. And she was so like hyped about it. It was so cute.
Yeah, not to say the others weren't, but she was definitely like, she was turned up, her excitement knob was turned up to 11 for sure.
That's what you want to see, right?
Right. You want to be excited about your job, especially in something like this. Like what Intrepid is doing is kind of revolutionary in a way. Sorry, go ahead.
It's not just that. It's like I see, like you as an onlooker want to see somebody happy to do their job, right? Right.
Exactly. Because like, I mean, there's nothing worse than going out to like a restaurant and getting to your like table and the person being like, what do you want? You're like, oh, that's food killer. But like, you know, don't be like, you don't have to be like the peppiest person, but you can at least be like pleasant. Like, hi, welcome in. How are you? Da da da. You know?
Yeah. You don't gotta do cartwheels to the table, but I mean, at least be welcoming. Like, hey, show some energy ish.
And I feel like I don't know. That's kind of why like people say a smile usually will return a smile. Like if you smile at someone, it makes their day better. Just because like, I don't know, for whatever reason, smiling at someone makes them feel better.
Yeah.
AOC Dev Show, but everyone is miserable. Oh, that would be horrible. I think nobody would watch that. They'd be like, off. Oh my gosh.
Exactly.
But I also love the little skull thing with the little goblin on top. Steven brought that everywhere he went. I think it's like in almost every shot. It was kind of cute. I just imagine Steven walking around the office with this thing and like, I'm gonna put this here. Okay, let's talk.
It's like the cheesy thing you see at like here's how you have productive discussions. Everybody, when you have the talking stick, it's your turn. Well, here, when the talking goblin Cyclops skull is in the room, it's your turn for talking. But yeah, speaking of, since it just passed by, Cat and Airy also, if you're listening to this or you catch wind of this, you're gonna be my superhero. Just saying. I already like the sounds in the games. The stuff that people have done has been great, but the things that you're talking about sound fantastic. and I'm an audiophile. I mean, it's in my name here in Twitch, DJ. I mean, I've been doing DJing since literally the turn of 2000 into 2001. That New Year's Day was when I started DJing. So
nice,
I've been doing audio for a while. And I love when people pay attention to that.
Yeah, as soon as she mentioned that, there's going to be that attention to detail, but when you get into combat, it's going to shift and it's going to bring into focus what needs to be in focus, and the other becomes like background. That sounds so exciting. I can't wait to hear that.
Yes. Important sounds come up front and everything else kind of fades to the back a little bit. That's perfect. It's perfect. Yeah. Can't see it right now, but I'm doing the chef's kiss thing right now. Mwah, perfect.
What about you, Yokai?
For what?
Do you have like a preference with sounds and audio stuff, or?
I think a lot of it, so this is a conversation I've had with a lot of people and like with our community. Like, there's different kinds of conversations with this too. Like the audio cues that you hear when you're casting spells, or when you hit something. Those matter to people a lot, and to me that does matter a lot. I'm also kind of an audiophile as well, but we've had this conversation quite a bit of like New World kind of raised the bar, and it's not the only thing that I'm not a big fan of New World, but like I do think in terms of audio, they raised the bar from it. That's one of the best things that New World's done for I could have done for MMOs is. People know what good audio sounds like, and so that just kind of gives people a benchmark to other games to kind of strive for. Yeah,
exactly. Kind of like base benchmark almost, or base like the bar a little bit, what bar to reach.
Yes, that's the kind of what I'm trying to get at. Is like I want Ashes of Creation to have equally, if not better, audio than New World. Because like just the gathering audio alone, I think carries that game on its back, and I like the gathering that they showed off in that one video, but the audio just wasn't there for me yet.
That makes sense.
There was some other criticism for that video too, but then like smaller things, feedback more than criticism. But yeah, it's like I want the game to sound great. Like I don't think anyone's like that. Anyone like graphic quality, sound quality, and then like good combat are the three things I think everybody looks for in a good MMO.
Yeah, I could agree with that. And Mizera says something that I agree with as well. I'm an ambient and music to zero kind of gamer. If it doesn't pull me in right off the bat, absolutely. Like, I'm gonna say it. But our guild convinced us to try World of Warcraft Classic. And how did I play World of Warcraft all the time? Well, I always turned off the music, and I ended up turning off the ambience because it ruined my music, because sometimes there'd be like a weird sound thing happening. But I just immediately would put on some music of my own and just go into playing. And it would be nice to not think about, okay, well, let me listen to something interesting, because you're too busy being interested in what's already being given to you by the game.
I think too few games have like there are a bunch of games that I can think of that I just, the soundtrack is just something you listen to like that you're listening to music when you're trying to like study for school stuff, or if you're bored at work or you need something to listen to. Like those soundtracks and things like that, but there's too few of them in comparison. Final Fantasy, like all the Final Fantasy games, if you're a Final Fantasy fan, I think those soundtracks just slap.
Yeah, they do a really good job with their audio.
Boss fight starts, insert heavy metal. I love it.
100%. Ambience, what you were talking about too, is like I think that's a super big thing. Like the sounds I was talking about earlier, ambience, but like ambience comes from really super make a game too, right? Like horror games, I think live and breathe on the ambience. Like if I can't be immersed into the horror.
Yeah, horror games with the ambience done right is the game that I cannot play.
Right?
I get way too freaked out too easily just by the ambiance in general. I'm like, I can't do this. My heart's racing. I feel like I want to just freeze. I'm done.
Yeah, see, I end up, I'm going to go ahead and say that almost all MMOs I've played, I've turned off the background music after the first, like, 6 months or so of playing pretty heavily. That's the longest a game has ever lasted. I'm kind of hoping with Bear making the music it might be a little bit different, but we'll see. We'll see. Time will tell.
I love that. Sorry.
But horror games and just blasting Nightcore. Oh lord. Oh lord. Nightcore. What is Nightcore? It's any song sped up to like 750 beats per minute.
To sound like a little anime girl singing.
Oh yeah. Oh, I love it.
Nightcore. Oh yeah, and by the way, folks, in January we're gonna have Turgo live on here. Not like the first show, but later in the month. So you know, definitely swing by again. Say hello.
Chipmunks. Basically, I think isn't Nightcore just take whatever song it is, speed it up, and put the pitch up a little bit.
Pretty much.
Nightcore.
Saying that makes it simpler than like doing that to any song like is also the kind of the wrong thing because it can be.
Geez.
What's going on?
I don't think that worked very well.
No, I was trying to see because sorry, we're still getting used to this bot.
Oh,
we didn't change the guest stuff though. Oh my goodness, I gotta get your stuff here.
Oh knows. I'll send it over.
Okay.
But because it is honestly trying your best to make a song, like any song, sound like it's being sang by an anime girl.
Mm-hmm. Pretty much.
And that's what I explained it to people.
I mean, it makes sense, to be fair. But I feel like Nightcore is better kind of looked at as like Hakune Mitsu.
Yeah. Hakune Mitsu. Okay, there we go.
Yeah, increased tempo. Yeah, I could see that. Mm-hmm. What class is everyone gonna play in Ashes? So end game, I don't know quite yet, but my primary is gonna be cleric. I'm gonna kind of use Hatsune Miku. Thank you. Yeah. I'm gonna use Alpha 2 because I forgot Alpha 1's already passed. I keep trying to say Alpha 1. I've been uploading videos, so my mind's been doing Alpha 1 stuff. Which, by the way, we got caught up to, I think, episode 90. Yeah, episode 90 on our YouTube. So,
and we just so you know, we ended up only sending out one yesterday. And none today. There'll be none tomorrow because holiday, New Year's, and all that stuff. So we're kind of letting that chill. We don't want to put out a bunch of videos for you to have to catch up to after the New Year. But we have more scheduled and ready to go at the beginning of the year. Probably start back up on the 2nd.
Indeed. Q3 Copium. I think it'll definitely be next year. But yeah, I think what I want to say is Alpha 2, I think I'll use to kind of test out what secondaries I want to use and then figure out from there what class maybe. But I know it's going to probably change a bit until we get to live. For class. What about you guys?
I'm going to be tank all the way. All the tanks. Every tank. I'm going to try them all out. In the alphas at least. Tank. Yeah, I'm going to in the alphas. That's my goal. Before the alpha 2 is over, I'm going to have tested and given feedback on every single tank class. In the betas, I'll start fine-tuning which ones I like and making sure I test the bejeebus out of them and make sure they get really worked in, and maybe still give some feedback on the ones I don't like and see if I can get them adjusted to something I do like. But we'll see. Yeah. And then if I have time, I mean, we'll see. We'll see. I might have to quit my job to do it, but if that's the case, I'll also test a bunch of the other classes as a secondary tank, and we'll see what happens there.
Yeah, that's funny. Quit my job. What about you? Okay?
Generally I'm a support main, so it'll probably be like I am looking at cleric. I told myself going into it I would be summoner, but everyone and their mom, like as soon as somebody gets in there, they're like, I want to be a summoner, I want to be a necromancer, thinking necromancer is going to be its own like special thing, not like just summoner with augments. So and plus like I'm in a community and like summoners generally things like a cleric generally something like the group generally always needs. So I'm a cleric main, potentially going to try out bard, see what kind of support that provides, and how it feels. But
yeah,
I'm looking at cleric.
Okay, very nice. Yeah, I pretty much main healing. And right now I'm trying out shaman, elemental shaman in World of Warcraft to see how that feels. Actually, Ashes opened my eyes a lot more to support classes and understanding what a support class is actually, because I only ever played like healer or like hunter maybe. So yeah.
So many things to try, though. So many things to try.
Absolutely.
Yeah, I like you. I have no idea which thing I'm good, because I mean we haven't really given. Oh my gosh, I almost died.
Classes. The classes we have aren't in a finished state yet, and like we don't even have class combinations. We don't have we don't even have like I want to see even half the roster. So yeah. I asking the question what class you're gonna pick in the end thing is an impossible question.
Yeah, it's real rough right now. But yeah, sorry, I almost I tried to breathe my water and it didn't work out too well. So
no.
I almost suicided by hydration. But yeah, like you said, you can't really judge any of the actual classes. You can judge some archetypes right now, but only some. Because really need to sort through this playlist. Sorry, Spotify, I have to keep an eye on the volume meter because some of them are loud and jumpy and whatnot, and others are very, very quiet. So I have to always play with the volume knob.
Yeah.
And it just spiked like way up to our voice level. Yeah, it was rough. It was rough.
Sorry about that.
But yeah, apologies. Yeah, it's real tough to dial in on an actual class right now. You can test some of the archetypes, but that's it. None of the actual classes are made, so if you get set on a certain class right now, like you better be really set on that is your class fantasy and you're a role player. I think those are the only people who could really settle on one class right now as role players.
Yeah, probably more than likely. I'm actually gonna say that we've moved into the random topics discussion because this kind of fits well under that. But there was a topic on the forums about skill progression animation. And someone was saying that they're wondering if what the community or Intrepid stance is on Ion if they've played it. One thing that Tough Guy really enjoyed about the game was that as you leveled up using the same abilities over and over, when those abilities leveled up, new animations would come into play. So for example, when mages cast level 1 fireball, it was a flame ball in your hand. However, once leveling it up to rank 4 or 5, when you casted a flame ball was in your hand, but also now a circle was around your feet. It was subtle, but a nice touch to feel like you were getting more powerful as you leveled up. Also, thank you for the stretch.
I think Intrepid's already kind of like hinted at that, right? Because we, like in Alpha 1 and what they've talked about before is like your skills do level up. You put more perks in them and they do different things. And then you also have skill effect cosmetics to it too. Like if you're a Kickstarter, which everyone here is, you have one of the stretch goals that you had is a exclusive Kickstarter cosmetic pack that changes how your skills look in the game. And I think they've hinted at like maybe possibly like doing that more in the future.
Yeah.
So not only do you have like, hey, my skills do different things because I leveled them up to different levels, different tiers, but also like I could potentially buy cosmetics that change how my skills look as well.
Yeah.
Yeah. And real quick, just I know you mentioned it real quick, but Fargrim the Barbarian did redeem a stretch, so that's you as well, Yokai. We got stretch.
Yep.
Stretch.
Thank you for that. I actually did need that.
Actually, Turgo, I'm glad you mentioned that. I think that's a perfect segue into kind of like not really a fan focus, but a fan what somebody is doing really nicely focus. Really nice, like a very kind thing someone's doing. Focus. That's what I'm trying to say. Oh my gosh. Words are very hard today.
Focus.
In the Ashes of Creation forums, someone, not off, is giving away an Alpha 2 key. And all you have to write is make MMOs great again in the comments, and it ends tomorrow. I will DM the winners within 12 hours of the conclusion of the giveaway, and the winners will have 12 hours to respond to the DM with a screenshot of the code applied to their store inventory, or another winner will be selected. So if you guys are looking or have people that you know are trying to get into Alpha 2, please. They are giving away, they said winners plural, so it sounds like multiple, two keys.
2 keys.
So,
note to self,
possibly.
it is only Alpha 2 access. It's not one of the packages or anything.
Yeah, but it's still one of those really awesome things, because I know during the live stream, their November live stream, we were up all night watching it, and if you were in our server, because I somehow got super lucky this year, during the last 3 years that we've watched it, when they've done giveaways, I've never gotten anything until this year, and then this year I got 3. So I was like, well, that works. 1 for each year that I've been watching. It feels like it's fitting. And it was just really nice to give those away to the people within our community. So make sure you join our Discord. You never know. We also post these things earlier in our Discord, so that y'all can try to get in there and get a key, or somebody that you know could try to get a key. So.
Yeah. But yeah, last year in 2021, I think it was, Not Off ended up giving a ton of money to the charity stream for Intrepid, and I think, just because I haven't looked it up and I haven't spoken with Not Off, so I could totally be wrong on this, but I think that's where maybe the alpha keys came from, but I'm not certain. Either way, it was like, I think over the course of the stream, I think he donated like $8,000 or something, some big old number like that. It was bananas.
That's crazy. Yeah. But you'll be taking a week off from work for Alpha 2. Nice. I think that's awesome though, because like we got really close to the first year numbers this last year, so that was really neat to see. Even with like the unfortunate economic climate we're in at the moment. Yeah. So that being said, I'm gonna touch on Turgo's question and then go into PvP afterwards.
Okay.
So Turgo asked, next question, do you think 8K per server for a 1,200 kilometer map is good or bad? I have to say, I've rolled horribly in the survival department. I would get lost easily, and I have no idea what that scale looks like.
Let me see if I can find something here. See if I can find a graphic.
Alpha 2 is gonna be up 24/7.
It's gonna be persistent, yeah. It's
gonna be persistent minus the updates. Obviously, they got to take it down to update it to put it back up. But it's one of those things where I think Alpha 2 will be kind of persistent up until beta, and then later, and it'll become kind of the PTR, I believe.
Yeah, that's how they've explained. That's how I keep telling people, and that's how they've explained. They have explained it. Like,
right.
When it goes live, it'll be up until release. Like Chibri said, they're gonna have it to where, yes, your characters will wipe and stuff like that because they have to update. They'll have to update and change the thing. It won't be like, hey, I had this character forever kind of thing.
Yeah.
But once it's up for good, and we can play it. We can play it for good until release, and then like she said, it'll be the PTR map after that.
Yeah. And I feel like people maybe forget that, and that's fine, because we do have a lot of new people that are joining after that information went out, and I feel like that information is very, very old information at this point, meaning like older than the last year or so. But if you're ever curious, we do have our wonderful friends over at, oops, I messed up the command. No, it's not doing the wiki command. Okay, I'll just go get it myself.
Oh no. Oh wait, do we have that? Let me make sure we have it.
I thought I set it up properly. But here's the wiki. Check out the wiki. The wiki has everything. Even the original timelines and such. But yeah, Intrepid is very, very... Well, okay, so I can understand why you would think that because Alpha 1 was literally, I think, about a month long. And so it's one of those things that Intrepid has put out dates before, and this is why nobody's getting the dates. Yeah, you're staring at the map on the wiki right now. Yeah, I love the wiki. It's so useful. Intrepid is nervous about putting out dates because they put out dates before and then something happened and they had to push it back, right? So they are doing, in my opinion, the smarter thing. And, you know, instead of being like alpha too soon, and like hyping it up, I'm glad that they're just saying we're not talking about when that, we don't have a date for you right now. Like, they're not even hyping it. They're just like, here's what we've been working on. Like, we, the players or future players, the fan base, have been hyping it ourselves. All Intrepid has done is be like, look at this person swinging a sword around. This is what we updated. Dates. I forgot to use some dates this Christmas. But yeah, I mean, I think that's really smart because when they have a proper timeline that they know they can commit to, they're probably going to tell you, you know? Oh yeah, that means there's going to be a lot of ocean content to go. I think I remember talking about that actually when that came out. What were your thoughts when you found out there was a lot more water being added?
I thought it was a good thing. I enjoy, like, Ashes takes inspiration from Arcade, right? And Arcade has some of the best MMO. That's not a solely that's the only focus of the game kind of thing. Like some of the best naval content there is in the game, and more sea content is always great. We have a lot of large sea-based portion of our community over in Envious. I remember that when that was said, there a lot of people that aren't happy about like the corruption system as it works, and that was a split in the community, right? When they announced that, you had people that were happy and people that were really pissed off about that.
Yeah, I think that was a really big split, mainly because it was forced PvP instead of opt-in PvP on the water, meaning as soon as you got down to the shoreline, it would tell you, hey, if you don't turn back, you're going to be flagged for PvP automatically. So I think a lot of people felt really upset by that, but I mean, it does make sense. If you ever go out on the water, literally anything can happen in real life.
Piracy's a thing.
Piracy is definitely a thing. But I like that? No, I think I'm going to be keeping my land legs. Thank you very much. Am I going to be missing out on content? Probably. But I can always convince my guild, like, hey, here's what I'm going to supply you guys if you guys could do something for me in return, because I love you, but that's too scary for me right now. But yeah, I don't know. I feel like maybe though, with me spending more time with my guild and getting more into the PvP stuff, yeah, I'll go on the ocean. There are people behind me. Exactly. Welcome in, Basil. I honestly, I've found that I hate WoW PvP when it's an open, like WoW's open world PvP. I will retract that and fix it. I hate WoW's open world PvP because there's literally no consequences to it whatsoever. And that game is what made me hate open world PvP in the first place, because as somebody who mainly played on PvE servers, there's of course Outlands area, which is specifically marked PvP area. So you can't undo it. You can't get around that, you know? But having guildmates in World of Warcraft makes the biggest difference for me. It feels very different for me. And it makes me less like timid about everything, because I know I got people that actually like have my back. But also it feels good to be like, yo, that's fucked up. I'm going to go take that guy out.
All right, so here you go. I was doing some looking around, trying to find the square kilometers, square miles for the WoW map. Let me see here. All right, so 200 square miles is the closest thing I could find anybody referencing what it should be today. So that comes up to 321 square kilometers for all of World of Warcraft. I feel that's still a little bit small for what they have. Maybe it's not fully updated. Nobody really has all the full updates, but that's all I was able to find right now. I thought somebody else had. I know there's a video out there, but I don't want to go searching YouTube.
Yeah,
at the moment.
That's a whole other rabbit hole.
Yeah, because I'll end up like hearing the video and I won't be able to hear you talk, and that'll be a mess. I was hoping somebody had a graphic comparing them.
Yeah.
Oh, the original map.
Yeah, you see that. Go ahead.
Yeah. The original map apparently was like 41 square miles. So, and that was each one, so it came to a total of like 80. So 80 square miles, and this one article I'm finding that was written in October says 200 square miles right now. So yeah, I'm with you there. 200 square miles sounds kind of light. I would imagine probably like 600, maybe 700 square miles though, which would still put it smaller than the Ashes map at launch.
Oh, Freegroom, don't forget your Paradox Gaming Network. What was it called again? Dang it slipped my mind. The sea people, sailor music. Listen to PG and sailor music. That'll be perfect for your open sea travels.
Yep, the sea shanties.
The sea shanties and everything, yeah. Well, I'll do the research. Okay, thank you, Turgo. Appreciate that. Yeah, I'd be interested in seeing that. That can't be
I would
all
totally
the
dig further. Yeah, I don't think it is. I just can't dig much further because I can't find anything else. I searched through like 12 different search terms to try to find something, and everyone's like, yeah, it's totally 80 square miles. No, that was the original. I mean, today. Come on, get with it. I'll find a video later, and then I'll share it next time we have this come up. I'll bookmark it.
Yeah. But going into the PvP thing, I guess this will be a good segue into it, because again, we were just talking about ganking. If it will fight or die be our only choices, and this is by Kraken. In past streams and interviews, he even said that there would be indicators to show stealth or invisible players. I think this would be a big mistake. In open world PvP, there needs to be more options other than fight or die. I think UO did a very good job in this regard. Yeah, I'm old. Back then, a player had choices when engaging with a PK. You could fight, run, hide, recall, etc. I think true stealth and visibility would give players another option when it comes to PvP. It would also make the game more exciting, never knowing if you're going to be ambushed just running from one town to another, and make those skills more than just PvE skills. But the point of this post is that if fight or die is our only two options, then PvP will likely become annoying rather than exciting. What are your thoughts?
Fight or die isn't the only two options. You do have that run option, and then like, I'm not a big fan of so I don't have a problem with stealth in a game. I don't like it when a class that's the entire class's identity and which is what Rogue is in most games is your entire fucking kit is I go invisible, and I like that Ash's creation is not true invisibility.
Yeah.
There's something to be said about mobility as well, like mobility, and I've had this conversation a lot with people. Everyone likes the idea of being mobile in a game. It feels good to be mobile. I have mobility, but mobility adds a degree of balance to the game that I don't think anyone does correctly. An extremely mobile class usually is the meta class, the one that's like the one that's overpowered and super strong, the one that can, for some raid bosses, solo the raid boss. For PvP, it's usually the best PvP class. You don't want too much mobility in a class to have more mobility than the other ones. And with stealth, it's the same kind of thing. Like you have it to where like, hey, I'm stealthing you, and I can just go up and gank you whenever, and you're not gonna have a chance to defend yourself.
Yeah.
Go ahead. I'm done, basically.
No, I was just saying, yeah, because I mean, recently, like today, I was playing a little bit of WoW earlier, and I was just trying to get to a new area, and this person just kept stealthing, and I couldn't see where they were at all. And all I was trying to do was pick up a quest, and they kept like ganking me. I was like, I'm in the middle of trying to just let me pick up my quest, please. At the very least, let me just do that. But I think, I don't know, I could see it kind of both ways, because it'd be nice as the person being ganked to be able to hide and get away from combat that way. But it would also be nice if, again, like you said, there wasn't true invisibility. So at least if I pay attention, instead of moving my camera around like crazy a lot, I'll be able to kind of see where they went, maybe, and then maybe exact revenge or try to run the other way.
Yeah.
Like anything you can do. Oh, sorry, Wagner. Vertec.
But I was just gonna apply my 2 cents, which is for one, the premise of the statement that they made when they opened it up is kind of off. Like Revan said, the stealth for rogue is more like the predator's stealth, where if they're standing still, it's really hard to see because they look like little wavy heat lines. And actually, on this particular post in the forums, I ended up putting a response with a link to the video at that time point when the rogue starts stealthing going up the hill. So I mean, there is that, but we're going up not the hill, the steps to the city. And so if the big premise for the question was that rogues don't have true invisibility, they have close enough. All they got to do is just get out of sight and find some shrubbery and go invisible, and nobody will find them. Guaranteed.
Yeah. I think the question was more so like in any class, not just rogue. I might not understand the class, but like the question that I heard from Chibri was like, the only 2 options you have in a PvP situation is to, as the gatherer, we'll say, is to either fight to defend your loot, or to die from the person ganking you or PvPing you, which isn't true. Like you can run like we were talking about. Also, like a lot of there are gankers out there. I'm not gonna deny that, but like there are PvPers out there that are just looking for PvP. If you just say like, hey, I don't want to fight, and I'm going on my own merry way, they're not gonna chase you. Those are like
the respectful PvP players.
Yeah. And I'm not gonna say that like gankers aren't the majority of people. Like if somebody tries to PvP you, and you have loot on you, I'm gonna be honest. You're probably gonna have to either fight or die or run away at that point.
Yeah.
But there are some that aren't that won't chase.
And to add a different perspective to all of this, Ashes and Air says if CC doesn't affect greens, I'm pretty sure we'll see some builds that are good at getting away with the right mount. And actually, Nick R on the forums happened to make a response specifically to that, saying CCs won't work on greens, so if you're ambushed and don't want to fight back, just run. No one will be able to stop you. And if you're trying to run away while flagged, I'd hope that the TTK, or time to kill, of 30 seconds to 1 minute would allow most classes to disengage without immediately dying. But full stealth would allow these ambushers to PK you as fast as possible, because you would never see them coming, while they'd be able to freely unload their strongest abilities into you, which is, kind of exactly what I experienced. But also, if as somebody who's not trying to fight back, if I didn't want to fight that person, and of course the problem with World of Warcraft is, again, as somebody else point out, like in their opinion, World of Warcraft having 2 factions makes more sense for open world PvP amongst each other, because you have the 2 warring factions, right? Whereas Ashes being factionless is like, well, why really is there open world PvP? And I mean, there's a whole route we could go down with that, but with World of Warcraft specifically, I mean, if yokai is my enemy, yokai understands what I'm saying right now. I'm speaking English, and yokai speaks English. But with World of Warcraft, it doesn't matter. You can say, hey, stop, but it comes out as like blah, 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 on the other person's screen, because they're not on your faction side.
Dick.
So it's just, It's one of those like down things. Like I've tried to like make a no emote, like stop no. But yeah.
Mizera gets it.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah,
I've learned how to say LOL from Horde to Alliance.
But yeah, I think the basis of the question, because the question that they asked was, Steven said there'd be indicators to show stealth and invisible players. I think this would be a big mistake. And then the rest of the post goes on to saying that eliminates a choice in combat, because then you can't actually like stealth and hide somewhere.
Yeah.
But I think there's always options. I mean, you can run and hide in just about any game, except for in a situation like is very common in World of Warcraft, which is level 80s like to cruise around level 20 areas going, oh look, plop, 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 and just kill all of them just for, crits and giggles. That's it. That's the only reason. There's zero gain from it. The other person loses nothing but time and aggravation, because then they have to run back to their body and hopefully start a quest again, or just cry because they were on the last portion of a escort quest.
Oof. Yeah. There we go.
But,
that actually brings me to a good point, because the other part about PvP, and something that a lot of the community has been murmuring about this last few weeks, is a lot of them are pretty sure that they were hinting at tank being the next thing that is going to be showing. And so somebody had a conversation called tank in PvP. And since you're the tank primary, why don't you take over that?
Absolutely. Before I do that, though, I did do a little bit of Googling for a minute there, and I was able to find, if Turgo's still in here, if you're listening, and anybody else who cares, population density of the United States. I'm just using that because it's, the most common for a lot of people still online right now and possibly watching, is 36 people per square kilometer. Now, the population, if there were only 8,000 people online for a 1,200 kilometer map, that would be 6.66 people per square kilometer. So roughly, what, 1 out of 6? So there'd be, one out of 6 people that you currently see walking around the United States would exist on that map. Not terrible. And if landmass only, it would, and that's exactly what I was going to look at too. Is I was scrolling up right now to do the math on that one. Let's see, what was it? 750 ocean, 430 kilometer land. So 8,000 people divided by 430 kilometers. That is 18.6 people per square kilometer. So if the limit is 8,000 and that limit is hit, then there will be half the number of people per square kilometer in Vera than there are in the United States.
So the US is more populated than the game is, but at least the US doesn't have to worry about any server lag.
Yeah, but then again, in the game, there's not housing built vertically, so it's gonna be all evenly spread out and whatnot.
True.
So it's gonna feel pretty populated, I'm pretty sure. Especially
I'm sure it'll feel very barren at first, but as they build up, kind of what you're getting to, it would feel populated.
Yeah, well, it's gonna feel right now, like at launch, right away, it's gonna feel very densely populated, because everyone's gonna be in the starting areas, everyone's gonna be in the areas very close to them, and the servers are gonna be absolutely packed. Like the max capacity is gonna be filled at launch.
That's part of the game. So to me though, that's part of the game and part of like the lore to the game, story to the game too, isn't it? It's like you're a group of explorers, adventurers, settlers that are coming from this world to your old world, but semi brand new to you. So like you're settlers to the new world basically, and you're actually building that world, like you're spreading out, claiming your territory, building up towns. Like the beginnings, I feel like coming into the game day one, because of new people, they like obviously they're gonna have, like, if you don't come in day one, you're gonna have a different experience. But like day one, you're gonna see a group of people come out of the portal. But then like when you go out into the world, everyone's gonna be doing that land rush thing, trying to find out where they want their like spread out all over the place, trying to pick their claim. So you're gonna have that barren, like that new, like, I come out of the portal thing, like feeling super crowded thing, and then that barren world thing, like those are all part of the feeling, that like the experience.
Yeah, exactly. Nair says, I'm fine with many people in an area. I worry a slight bit about the freeholds all over the place. Oh, Wicca, thank you. We love your face.
Thank you, Wicca. Appreciate you. But yeah, I don't know. I think we're gonna see enough people that it's gonna feel populated, and it's not gonna be horrendous.
Yeah.
Like, it's not gonna be terrible in any direction. It's gonna be. I think it's gonna be pretty all right, as long as. But that's also assuming again that there's like 8,000 people on there.
Yeah. Which, I mean, what it'll be interesting to see. But getting back to the PvP tank conversation. So I shared it out. I'll share it out again.
Yeah, so I'm easy when it comes to tanks and PvP. You know what we need to do, or what we need to be, as tanks and PvP. We need to be paid attention to by the devs. That's it. That's all. That's all. Just the devs need to pay attention and realize that tanks need to be important in PvP too. Yeah. Because every game that ever talks PvP and mentions the word tank in it when they're talking PvP, they do something good for it. Like World of Warcraft and SOTOR, they mentioned tanks in PvP when they were doing all their, you know, pre-launch and betas and all that stuff. And they had tanks that could taunt enemies to where they do less damage to everybody but the tank. They had tanks that could provide more support for their teammates. They had tanks that could do CC in ways that the other people can't. They had just so much stuff that the tank could do to be effective. I mean, my engineer flat out, I could pump out stuff where I think they would do like 50% less damage to anybody but me with just a taunt. And so I built in like 3 different taunts into my character. So I was running around just popping those off left and right and all over the place, and rooting and snaring as much as I could with everything I could. I'd bring extra items for that. And it made a big difference in our plays, because someone's trying to get away because they're almost dead, but they have like the flag. I put myself between them and the person chasing them. I stun and root, and I start tossing out my taunts. That way any damage that is incoming is going to be far less. But games that don't mention tanks in PvP, like basically everything else, they suck. There's no reason for them unless they can do major damage. So it's like a strategy. You have to go in as a tank spec, as a tank class, and build like your DPS. You have to bring DPS gear and bring DPS weapons and spec out your stats and everything so that they're based to be PvP. Or not PvP, but DPS rather, when you go into PvP. And it's just weird. It feels terrible. Like, okay, so what I gotta do is just not bring a tank. And PvP will be great, right?
Yeah.
So, they just gotta pay attention. Give us some love.
Kind of felt the same way with heals, but only in terms of people targeting heals.
Yes.
Can't take someone a shield wall? That would be fun in PvP to make a safe zone to hide for your team. Yeah, exactly.
Yeah, they had that in APOC. It was a skill that they were testing, and they mentioned that Steven, every time he talks about tanks and their skills, he always mentions like being able to bring up a wall. So I think that skill that was in APOC is going to be on the tanks as one of their skills they can spec into and make it that big and that crazy.
I'm excited to see the next live stream if they do showcase tank. I want to know what that looks like.
What I hope is that instead of just being a collision mechanic for player bodies, they can actually serve as cover as well, so that I could get, you know, a ranger that's out there trying to like drop arrows on people. I can toss up a wall right in front of them, and then they're protected from a lot of ranged weapons coming at them. Because that would increase my effectiveness running out to the battlefield. Run past a range and drop a wall right in front of them. Like, there you go. Have fun, friend. You're protected for the next like 20 seconds or 15 seconds, whatever it is.
Yeah. I'll let Yokai start talking, but after this, I think we just have a few things to share. If you want to maybe pull up the snowflakes or something like that.
Yeah, I can pull the snowflakes up.
I think you guys. I think Vertex said it the best. Tank get especially in open world PvP, right? Like tanks get the least amount of love. Their role in PvP and PvE are two separate roles, right? And so like you have to design them differently. Like design them with like where does your game bring focus to in mind. Like they're generally like, hey, I'm holding aggro. I need to be able to like I need to take hits from the boss type thing. Whereas in PvP, you can't just be like something that's like really hard to kill. Because so everyone else is just going to ignore you. You have to be able to do something else. Like your aggro thing has to have meaning. You have to you do something else. So we've had this conversation quite a few times. There's different kinds of PvP tanks. There's the area control tanks, like how Intrepid says they kind of want it to be. You have a more support tank that provides buffs and shielding and armor to your allies around you.
Oh, how about this? Oh, check this out. So I just had an idea. Sorry to interrupt there, but you said something that kind of cued my brain. So what if, like, in PvE, right? Tanks build up aggro and they have skills that increase aggro, but that will do nothing in PvP. What if it actually did do something? Like the more quote unquote threat you built up and the more threat management you had, the opponent did less damage. Just outbound, and it was like a 5 or 10 second or 5 or 8 second even debuff that just stuck on them. Every time the tank hit, it would just stack and it would do less and less damage, down to like 30% damage just flat, just from attacking somebody.
I haven't seen it in an actual MMO done, but like that's a thing that like a lot of isekais and like anime does, is like provides the tank. Because like when the tank in PvP, when you hit when the tank activates the skill, they either like you have to focus the tank because like you're either getting debuffed or you can't, or you just flat out you get hurt by attacking anybody else by the tank. The tank abilities do have the aggro thing like you talked about in a PvP situation.
Yeah.
Like, I think that'd be neat. They could actually call the debuff aggro, because it's called a tank, right? So just call the debuff aggro. Just stick with the template of calling it basic words that everyone just uses for whatever reason, and it'll be the meme class. It'll be the meme class. It'll be great. Just call it aggro. It'll be a stacking aggro buff that until the tank dies, you do like until the tank dies or like 10 seconds pass or something, you do X% less damage to everybody. And so you have to take the tank out so you can get rid of that debuff. Like everybody else, focus the stupid tank. It's killing my damage output.
Nara says, I want siege tanks. Like instead of a cloak or buyback, a tank character straps on a giant potion launcher on their back and starts lobbing potions at the wall. They shouldn't be able to use normal weapons or anything.
That sounds actually pretty glorious too. I would take that over most MMOs that have tanks in combat with PvP scenarios. I would take that in a moment versus their system. Just the only thing I can use is a potion launcher and just AoE blast everybody with healing.
Turgos is sort of online MMO win. Mazera says, I'm worried that forced the meta towards tank and healer combos in PvP.
But the thing is, there would be things you could do to get around that though, because then you bring range, right? The range are going to go and they're going to focus down the healers, and then you're going to get rogues that are going to go in stealth and backstab the tanks, because they're not going to have the damage debuff from a tank. The tank is going to be melee, right? We don't know exactly what they're going to do with the augments. Maybe it'll give some range to them, but they're only going to be able to do so much with their taunts and whatnot. So like the rangers and mages are going to be able to blast the bejeebus out of a tank and a healer. So it's literally all the melee are going to say, hey, all my damage is gone. Like, I'm a 30% debuffed, plus they've taunted me, so I'm also doing 50% less damage to anybody else but the tank. So I have to attack the tank, because that's the only one I'm doing more damage to.
Yeah.
So, hey, mages, take out this stupid tank, please. And then they could also nuke the healer right behind him if that's the case, too.
It really is, but like in a lot of those situations, it is like if you have aggro to your tank, it does become like, hey, it becomes similar to a raid kind of where you have it where, depending on the like your focus is, hey, I have to stay alive now, and I'm providing, I'm doing these things, and I just need a healer on me to keep me alive, and then the rest of my team is good thing. It does provide that meta. There's some balancing issues there. Like no system we come up with is gonna be a perfect system, or else someone else probably would have already made it up.
Yeah.
But I do agree, like healer, and I feel like, especially in like an action combat style game, healer and tanks get the least amount of love, and they don't need that. They need more love.
Yeah. Well, I think the problem with most developers is the fact that a tank is so hard to do anything with in PvP, because half of their kit is about building threat and taunting things and grabbing its attention, and you can't do that forcefully with a player. I mean, I guess you could taunt something and then their character loses all control and just runs at the tank, swinging wildly or something, but I think that would be...
Sorry.
Oh, go ahead.
It kind of takes the player agency away, though.
Yeah, exactly. It takes player agency away, and it becomes another a mobile route, I guess, or a mobile stun, where you're still moving, your character's doing stuff, but it's just not doing what you want. So it becomes another CC instead of just impacting like how they desire to act.
Yeah. And Nara says, I really hate forced target shifts in PvP from taunts. Yeah. Also, Nara said, do we know if there'll be healing debuffs, as in a poison or something that reduces incoming healing on a target? I'm not really sure, but it would make sense for there to be one, like a curse. I could imagine like a shaman cursing someone, cursing the other people for like reduced healing income. I don't know. Incoming healing.
Yeah.
The bard's supposed to provide like buffs and debuffs. Like,
bards too.
There's a bunch of different classes that I could definitely see like providing like some kind of. You don't want to like a whole bunch of like if the bard is like that's their class identity is I'm the buffer and the debuffer. You don't want a whole bunch of other classes providing like a whole bunch of like stealing that identity away from them kind of thing either. So we'll have to see.
I imagine them doing it in different ways though. As a healer, I don't think we need any healing debuffs.
You might be right. Heal is perfectly tuned.
Absolutely.
No debuffs. No debuffs. No. As a tank, I agree.
But these are some lovely snowflakes from Z and also I believe Vaknar.
Yeah, I think I don't think I grabbed the one from Z.
Okay, did you grab
I got all three from Vaknar.
Okay, cool.
Yeah, this was done during the office hours that they had posted up about. In case you folks missed it, we had an awesome game of what was it, Quiplash? Yeah,
Quiplash, yep.
Yeah.
How did they do that? So one of their artists pre-templated out some snowflakes, which you can still go get if you want to do it yourself. Let me go grab that. It was on their forum post about the office hours, and they had put up the templates there too. So I'm just gonna go grab that real quick.
Yeah, it was neat. We sat in there and talked with them about just random topics, Ashes related and not. And Vaknar, I found that out. I discovered it's Vaknar, not Vaknar. Vaknar. Yeah, yep. And Nara just put it out there right as I said it. Perfect timing. Yep. And I'm trying to train myself to say that because I've been saying Vaknar since it first came out. And then the first time he said it in the voice chat, it was like, oh, okay. Yeah, I'm gonna need to retrain my brain. Vaknar.
I am Vaknar. Oh yeah, that's right. I said Vaknar Ugar.
Vaknar Ugar. But yeah, I sat there and he had a time limit because he did hers in like 20 to 15 minutes or something. So he had a time limit of 20 minutes per snowflake. All he had to cut these out.
By the way, the link I just sent out, which is the Monday, December 19th, Tuesday, December 2022 holiday edition, has in the spoiler all of the little templates for you to print out and make it yourself. But yeah, I thought these were really cool. We didn't make any, but I don't know. There's still time. I might try. Screen went black.
I made an oopsie.
Screen go black.
There we go. This is what I meant to do while I was trading off this stuff. That's what I meant to do, not the fade to black. My goodness, we disappeared. Speaking of stealth. Yeah, right.
Speaking of stealth, yes. But yeah, actually, there's also, I want to wait for that unless you want to do it now, but the wrap-ups with the news stuff, I just sent those to you.
Oh, yeah. I just wanted to get them prepped. Okay. And I just pushed the wrong button because, you know, I'm a smart guy today.
It's okay. It's the end of the year, literally. I will share out a few things. These are just little things. We can chat about whatever while I share these out. This one is from Sticano, who made a rap song about what it's like being an Ash's character. And then in not any particular proper order, entries 1 through 3 of these necromancer journal entries by oh man, I had his name in my head earlier.
Warden.
I am
Warden 01, or I am Warden. That was it. Yeah.
So, if you like roleplay stuff, those are all roleplay little tidbit journal entry things. And yeah, I think that's kind of it for the main stuff. Did you have anything that kind of stuck out to you, Yokai, from the live stream or anything that we talked about today?
No, nothing that nothing that I can. I don't know. Everything I could talk about would be really off, like gigantic rant things that would last a motherfucking hour.
Like 1 hour later.
yeah. That like. I think we said. I think I already said it, and you guys have already said it. Like it was just a good stream. It might not have been for everybody, but it was a good stream.
Yeah, you didn't mess up anything. Well, we don't have any meat for sale at the moment, but you know, we're still getting the tavern set up.
Yeah.
Actually, speaking of getting the tavern set up, we have a couple little sneak peeks of something you might see in the new year. But those are going to be in the form of the announcements that I've been putting out for the New Year stuff that we're doing. I thought it was cool to see all the team on the last live stream. Yeah, I liked that too. It really stood out to me, like the things that they were talking about. They definitely had a lot of little pieces of information that you didn't quite expect to get in-depth info on. It was just really nice. Oops. Are you trying to share the
show notes? No.
Yeah. Okay. But some of the things that we have planned is starting in the new year. I'll be starting to do a DMing of the Call of the Netherdeep series. That'll be on Sundays around 1 p.m. Eastern time. Which will also be known as our Parlor Games Day. So, Yokai, if there's any tabletop games that you're interested in, I think we're doing D&D for 3 out of the 4, and then when there's a 5th, there's going to be 2 days of random parlor games. So if you want to join us, we have some stuff.
Love to.
That'd be fun. Asmonval preset for the win. They should leave that in the game. But yeah,
go
ahead.
Oh no, go ahead. You.
I was gonna say that's starting with the session 0, and then we're gonna take a week off because we're gonna go visit some family, and then we'll start up the official first day of the campaign. And then on Mondays with Vertec and I, it's somewhere between 7 and 8 p.m. because Vertec's job doesn't always let him get away on time for him. But you know, for lore reasons, we have to clean out the tavern first and make sure it's presentable. We'll do tavern talks, and that'll begin on the 16th. those will be kind of like our post-podcast shows, by the way, where we're kind of a little bit like what we just had, where we're just sitting here chatting about Ashes, basically. And then I'll be doing Sunday morning coffee quests with you guys. Whether or not Vertex joins me depends on how awake he is at the moment. But I'll be playing some sort of MMO and completing quests and my quest for awakeness. And that'll be starting on the 14th. 10 a.m. Eastern time. So those will be Saturdays. So we are doing Friday, Saturday, Sunday, and then Monday. And then we're off Tuesday through Wednesday. Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday. Sorry, Tuesday through Thursday. Goodness. There's another day in there somewhere.
Yeah, somewhere in there.
Somewhere in there.
Yeah, we're trying to pick up some activity, do some more stuff.
Yeah, we thought it'd be kind of fun to do a little bit more stuff with you guys. I know we've mainly been doing our podcast for the longest time, but we had to sort a lot of IRL stuff around a little bit to make time for more stuff on the podcast. So I hope you guys enjoy these changes when they come and give us feedback on what you like or don't like about them. And we'd love to offer more various entertainment with you, for you, etc.
Hope to see you around there, especially during like the tavern talks and the coffee quest. The D&D thing's gonna be really cool too. I mean, honestly, and all three of those I think are gonna be fun. But the coffee quest, I mean, you don't even have to be terribly energetic. Just join us in our We Need Coffee to Live.
Yes.
And so we're going to do random quests and try to wake up for the day and enjoy the weekend.
Yes, exactly. It'll be a good start to the weekend, and we'll do it together.
And please bring yourself some topics to talk about on the Tavern Talks tonight, because that's going to be all about just interacting with you folks and hanging out and chilling. Might be some random, like, real life questions, like, you know, let's talk about something, and it'll just be like motivational things.
Yeah.
Just to chill, hang out.
Literally just chatting with you guys.
Yeah.
It'd be nice to get some more of that in. And not have it being like, I feel like the post podcast feels a little bit pressured, which is why we're not going to be doing that anymore. The Monday night stream will be kind of taking over that. So the post podcast chats kind of feel a little bit pressured towards talking about Ashes still. So this will be taking that pressure off, but also getting to know you guys a bit better. And hopefully US. So yeah. But Yokai, as we wrap up, is there any big things that you're planning in the next year? Because it is about to be 2023.
I do have some plans for doing more content creation type stuff. I'm wanting to get more involved in that and more involved in the Ash creation side of things. But none of those projects I want to talk about right now. I'm good.
Fair. Keep your eyes out. Keep your eyes peeled. There's Yokai's stuff. We can discuss topics like why are birds?
Why are birds? All right, so as we get ready to do a wrap up, last few words, first person to respond, we have options for who we can raid. We have a Wiccaslav playing some Minecraft. We have a Tech Deck 22 playing some Lost Ark.
Real quick.
And we have,
on that Minecraft, it's not just any Minecraft. He's been playing RPG Minecraft with like quests and stuff and leveling. Yeah.
Then we also have some OMF Goddess with some D&D. All three of these are going to be doing some Ashes content. Right now they kind of just don't really. They talk and chit chat and watch some of the live streams and whatnot, but until then they're just playing these games.
Also, if you bring up Ashes, they all are happy to chat about Ashes. Like, I think I've sent Wicca on a couple 1 hour rants about Ashes.
Yeah, all three of them will kind of stop what they're talking about and just they'll bullshit Ashes with you for a long time.
Yeah.
So yeah, first person to respond. If you have any preferences there on game or person, that's who we'll drop you off with. If not, then I'm gonna roll a random 3-sided die and we'll see which it is.
There you go.
Did you have anything else you wanted to say before we run away there, Phoebe?
I want to say Merry Christmas. I know we were not live last week to tell you that, but Happy New Year. We are super excited for what 2023 is bringing, and we're excited to see you guys in 2023. And yeah, we really appreciate you guys being here. And Mizera, I hope you sleep well.
Yes, please rest well. Rest well. Beauty sleep is important.
Oh yeah, especially for staying up all night to get to the 0 countdown.
Absolutely. But yes, thank you all for staying here with us and hanging out. It's been glorious. We love you all, and you know, you could have spent that time anywhere. You don't get refunds on time spent, so
sorry.
Thank you for spending
Hope you
it here.
enjoyed it.
Yeah, sorry. Hope you enjoyed it. Okay, bye.
Bye.
All right. Well, we didn't hear anything as far as a response here, so I'm gonna roll. Let's see if I set this command up right.
Okay.
Roll D3, and I'm gonna go by the order they are on my screen as 1, 2, and 3.
Gotcha. Okay.
No. Oh no.
Thank you, Nara.
3. Did I not do it right? Oh man, the bot is not picking it up. I don't think.
I
Why are
don't
you
even
not picking
see
it
you
up, bot?
posting anything.
Oh, you know what it is? It's because I'm being silly.
You got a 1.
Okay. I got a 1. Wicked it is. Wicked it is. We're gonna go see some Minecraft.
Woo.
Minecraft.
MMO
Modded Minecraft.
Yeah, MMO Minecraft.
MMO modded Minecraft.
Yep. Have a good night, everybody.
Bye.
Bye-bye.